body protection. It is. Strength training is gaining. Okay? So even when you look at cardio, just the three: cardiovascular, flexibility training, and one more, resistance training. It still come back down to the push and pull. You know, it's still the three becomes two, and then the two comes back down to one. Well, what's the one? Pulling. Most people thought it was pushing, just like I was looking at it, and then I seen the other group called pushing weight, and I thought it was all about pushing. But even when you look at the push-up, you might put more your emphasis, like I did for a long time, on just the pushing, thinking that was the most important part. The pushing. No, it's not. That's just one part, and the two that also makes up three. Yeah, you got your concentric, your eccentric, and your, I forgot the other one, there's another C. Your holding position, basically. So you got one where you're pushing from the top, you're going down, and then you got the one where you're holding. Okay? So once again, that still come back down to pulling. Pulling is the secret. So I don't know what type of strength training you're doing, but if you're talking about longevity, you gotta pull. You gotta pull. Now most people think when I say pull, I'm just talking about resistance training. I am not talking about resistance training alone. Because when you study the runners like I did, and you find out that they just not doing cardiovascular, at least the smart ones, the master runners, you know, the triathlons, they're not just doing one specific type of exercise. The smart ones are doing one plus the other one. What is that? They're doing the resistance training and the running. They're also understanding, like I had to, that when a runner gets to what you call the wall, where they're getting tired, that's the wall. When they hit that wall, if they have been doing strength training, this is how they can start gaining more. They can start running more, and they won't run down or run out of energy. Straight facts. So running is just not cardiovascular. No, it's not. Now, if a runner, that's all the runner is doing is running, and they are not strength training, then I guess you could consider that, you know what I'm saying, just running. But the smart runner, just like the smart weightlifter, he is going to implement some type of cardiovascular in it, even if it's not a whole bunch, because he has a goal. Just like the runner has a goal. You think the runner is going to do more strength training than running? No, it has to be sport specific. Hey, how you doing? Talking about the science of movement. Strength training is how you're going to be gaining more. Okay, now I'm just doing a whole new different type of set with my strength training and also with my students, so that the foundation is on point, especially as you get younger like me. I'm turning 50 in March, you know, around the time where the new year is about to begin. And just to make it clear, new year don't begin in no winter. The new year begins in a month like April. All right? So let's keep rocking the mic as we talk about strength training. Once again, when you study yoga, that is not just flexibility training. That is strength training as well. Because yoga helps improve a lot of different things when it comes to your body and even your mind when you study about the breathing. Just think about breathing. Breathing, you breathe in, you breathe out. Well, what's the most important one? Well, I'll say if I had to choose one, I would say the inhale, which we say, you know, we get in the oxygen. And then when we exhale, we get in the, what? We releasing the carbon, right? Dioxide. So it reminds me very similar to the muscle. What's that? I think it's the next one. It reminds me once again of the pushing and pulling. The most important one is the pulling. All right, and not always pushing a whole lot of weight. All right, not a whole lot of weight, but pushing the weight the right way. So now what I'm doing is, for longevity, also for the young people who are growing, we got to strength train better, starting at the toes. Toes, working your way up. Because there's a lot of places that I went to learn more about disciplines and exercise, and they did not teach that first. They taught you everything else and never taught you about the toes. You got to start at the toes. It's like doing strength training, but you never really help them strength train the wrists or the fingers. How you doing today? That's important.
Please exit.
Wrong one. Damn. I think he gave me the wrong card. You know what I mean? Does that make a lot of sense? So once again, strength training is your key, so that you stay on point with gaining as you get younger, like me. Once again, I'm going to be turning the 5-0 in March 20th. And I'm all in. I'm all in, making changes. Today we're going to be doing some new exercises, because when you're doing your strength training, you want to keep it fun, you know? Keep it fun. So today we're going to be doing some new exercises. They never did these exercises before, you know, and I believe that should be a law. Never keep doing the same thing over and over again. Try to add a new. Even when you do your sets, let's say you're doing your chest. Well, let me try a new exercise for my chest. I normally do, let's say, the diamond, and I normally do the regular push-up, but today I'm going to try the plyometric push-up. Or I'm going to try another style. I'm going to do the chest press inside the gym. You don't always have to keep doing the same thing all over. You got to switch something up. It keeps the fun. It also keeps challenging the muscle in a different way. Don't forget, change your sets and reps. If you never heard me say this again, change the sets and reps, and don't always do it like the people in the West do it. Majority of people in the West always gonna do what? If you can only do 20, they're gonna try to make you do 25 or 30. Make you go to failure. So let me tell you how they do it on the East. Always keep 2 or 3 in the bank. And somebody run up on you, and you gotta throw your jab and your cross, or your reverse punch, or you'll be able to still have more than enough energy to deal with them. Because your goal wasn't to totally be wiped out, where you couldn't even do another round. Okay? If you get a chance, go check out this book where it talks about this. A very great book called Naked Warrior by Pav. If you never heard of Pavilion, it's a very great calisthenic expert. Book was totally awesome. Okay? And that was one of the books that I put in my library of physical fitness and martial arts training. So go check out that book, The Naked Warrior. And no, he's not naked, but he's just talking about training with the body and sometimes having less, but being able to use also your own body weight aside from the kettlebell, so that you can get ripped up, but knowing how to do it the smart way, not the hard way. Okay? I also put some stuff up there for y'all in regards to sparring, because sparring is just like strength training. Sparring, when you do it right, is another form of strength training. Yes, you were pulling, yes, you were pushing, you were using those same muscle groups, but you were just doing it in a different way. Sometimes we put weights in our hands, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we got the water weights, you know, and I was sharing with some of y'all on the last stream. So once again, the name of the game is you gotta pull. You gotta pull, and you gotta pull smarter, okay? Some of you guys don't do yoga, cool. There's certain things that you shouldn't be doing. But once again, yoga has some very great moves that can help you with your kicking, your punching, your striking, your stances, okay? All of that good stuff. Okay, whether you're doing forms or fighting, you know, it will help you. Okay. So I left a video. This was about 2 days ago, about the new exercises that I was doing. If you don't know where to go find it. The name of the title was something about shoulders and boxing, and how to get them better, something like that. How to develop it better. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I'm gonna get ready to go head to this class. Y'all have a blast, weekend warriors. Get your workouts in, and don't forget the kingdom. Number one to your strength training. There used to be an excellent preacher
This
named
stop, the Avenue Lip.
what's
76.
his name? Reverend Knight. And he used to say, feeling is the secret. And just like
Next stop,
that number
Acres
one,
Road. No.
that number one key that I gave you about strength training, it's all about pulling. It's not just about pushing and pulling and I'm just gonna do the resistance training and not do the cardio, not do the flexibility training, not do core training. No, you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay? It all works together and you don't have to do everything at once. Okay? So once again, the number one key is resist. That's going to be good for longevity. Taking care of your toe training, taking care of your wrists, taking care of your ligaments and tendons. And a lot of that stuff don't even require a lot of weight. And also learning how to work with your own body weight. There's a lot of people that can hit 200 and 400 pounds but can't even lift their own body weight. So what does that tell you? That should tell you something. But anyway, before we go, don't forget, in spiritual, feeling is the secret. That's what that great preacher shared. Feeling is the secret. Feel good about what you're doing.
This stop,
And
Road
remember,
Nelson.
the kingdom of God is within you. I gotta get ready to go. If you got any
Next
questions, y'all can put them in the
Acres
comments
Road.
below.
80.
And keep on flowing. Appreciate y'all for listening.